Fall in Boise, Idaho. We are going to talk about what it is like for people moving to Boise, especially some of the things you need to do in the fall to prepare for winter, which some of you will not be used to doing, touch on some of the fall real estate trends, and we will also look at the cool fall events, and of course, look at the best spots to check out the trees. My name is Brady Fagel, and I'm a Boise local and a real estate agent. If you have any questions, reach out or comment down below. Now, first of all, fall in Boise is the absolute best. It is the best weather of the year. By far, it has the most beautiful colors and some of the coolest events. The only downside is that it heads into winter, which requires some work and costs that we will of course talk about at the end. I said fall is the best, so I should probably back up that statement, and we'll start with the weather. This is the best part of fall. It's 75 to 85 degrees for almost 2 months straight every year, which those of you coming from Southern California are probably laughing at that because you get that almost all year. But hey, we have some other pluses here in Boise. The mornings and evenings in fall are a little bit brisk, which might require some getting used to for some of you, but the amazing weather is great. You can go to the Village in Meridian and eat outside at all of the restaurants. The Village always has events in the fall, and you can attend those, or you can have a drink on the rooftop patio in the movie theater, head across the street to Kleiner Park and go for a walk. You can play pickleball or let the kids play there. In Boise, you can hang out at the breweries along the Boise River, and we will talk about more of the major fall events and activities later. Fall usually lasts from about late August through mid-October. Some years it will last into November before it starts dropping into the 50s and 60s. Some years when I was a kid, we wore a t-shirt during Halloween, and some years we had gloves and a coat with 4 inches of snow. It really just depends on the year, but usually you can bank on November being when it starts to get colder. We can't have fall without the fall colors as well, so I'll give you some of the best spots to see some of the fall colors. And then we will go into the types of clothes you might need if you're not used to the 4 seasons, the real estate trends around here in the fall, if it's a good time to move, and then at the end of things you will have to do during fall to prepare for winter in Boise. But the best spot to see fall colors from high up is going to be fairly limited. Boise is in a valley, and there is only one set of foothills for the most part. The best views from a bird's eye perspective is to hike up Table Rock in Boise. That will be the easiest and best view overlooking the valley. You can also go to Camel's Back Park in the north end, or downtown Boise has a few rooftop bars that can give you a nice view while you grab a drink, which is a fun evening out. You can also hop in a hot air balloon ride as well. The weather is so nice in the fall that there is usually a hot air balloon or two almost every day if I'm up early in the morning. You can also drive up Bogus Basin Road, and you can view some of the fall colors up in the mountains. But by far the best way to experience the trees is to just spend time along the Boise River or in the north end. You have the green belt that runs from southeast Boise all the way through to Eagle, and it is a canopy of trees. It's so beautiful that I actually proposed to my wife along the green belt in the fall time, which was a perfect spot in Eagle. I won't go over all of the best green belt spots here because I talk about a lot of those when I go through each suburb. But you can usually head to the big parks in Boise, like Albertsons Park, where we had our engagement photos taken, or Ann Morrison, and then Julia Davis Park. All of these parks connect to the Boise River and give you a great experience in the fall. When I was taking some of these drone shots in Ann Morrison Park, there was actually a couple having a picnic underneath a bunch of the trees with, fallen leaves. And my wife turned to me and she said, we should do that. So whoever that guy was, he knew what he was doing and was correct, because now my wife really wants to go do that. But it was a beautiful spot to have a picnic, and there's a lot of spots like that in these parks. And now, before we get into some of the changes you might need to make for fall in Boise, and then of course the events and the real estate trends, and then at the end, what people need to do to their homes and yards and stuff to get ready for winter, my name is Brady Fagel, and I make these videos every week to hopefully help you learn about moving to Boise. If you feel like I deserve it, subscribe to the channel, and it helps me and it helps you not miss any of the videos. And then whether you're moving in a week or a year, reach out to me where I can answer questions for your personal situation. I also think that if you trust me enough to reach out, then you deserve to have me as your agent. I will be the one showing you homes and walking you through the process. No other agent or team member. I'm the one that will answer. But back to fall in Boise. If you are someone moving from like an LA or a Texas where it really is never cold, fall in Boise can get very chilly in the mornings and evenings. So make sure you have a light coat or sweater. It's definitely a must, and it might be something new for some of you. Other than that, you really don't have much to prepare for when it comes to clothing. There are some fall allergies. My wife actually got hit hard with that this year. But really, fall is great, and as long as you have a few extra pieces of clothing, you will be good. Sometimes in late fall, it gets cold enough that you need a winter coat, but that has more to do with the beginnings of winter and the snow, and that's for a different video. But let's go through some of the best events and things to do in fall. First is the football games. Boise is home to Boise State, who currently has the Heisman frontrunner and is consistently a top 20 team. So the football here is great and it's competitive, but the games and community around BSU is awesome in the fall. Even if you don't tailgate or you don't go to the games, a lot of people will have a TV in their garage or in the front yard. And because the weather is so nice, you have watch parties in almost every neighborhood, on the streets and driveways of your neighbors. Sometimes multiple parties on your street on Saturday, which shows just the community and the friendliness feel of Boise. The other great events are the pumpkin patches and the corn mazes. The two most popular will be Linder Farms and Farmstead. They have rides, they have slides, and of course pumpkin patches, corn mazes. They have a pumpkin cannon. There's also a great place just to spend time with the family. And especially for those of you who have kiddos, these spots are just an amazing time in the fall. I also mentioned Table Rock earlier to get to some of the great views of the fall leaves. But in general, fall is just an amazing time to just be outside. There's, of course, all of the hiking trails along the foothills, places like Camel's Back Park. You have the Eagle Bike Park. You have Discovery Park, which is in Meridian. And then most of the trails are open for mountain biking. So being outdoors is amazing in the fall here. Boise also has the botanical gardens downtown, which does a great job in every season of having themed events and beautiful landscaping. But when it comes to fall and buying homes or moving to Boise, this can be an amazing time to buy, but it's also one of the best times to visit Boise. The weather is amazing and usually flights and travel are a little bit less expensive. Plus, if you're deciding to buy a home and you want to move to Boise soon, it can honestly be a perfect time to come check out homes and get ready to purchase. Fall is a slower time of year for selling homes, especially late fall. Kids are in school, it starts to cool off. People are getting ready for the holidays, which means that homes that didn't sell at the end of summer are starting to kind of get anxious and either think about pulling their house off the market or just get out of it. So you can find great deals during late fall and especially into winter. This means you're getting more incentives and seller concessions, and you're not dealing with some of the competition you have to deal with in the summer. Regardless, it's a great time to visit. You can experience some of that colder morning while being able to go places like the Village and do the things like having dinner outside when it warms up in the afternoon while you visit. And then once you buy a home and move to Boise, what are some of the things that you need to do to prepare for winter? One of the first things and the most obvious is you need to have your sprinkler system blown out. This is just an air compressor that blows out all of the water in your sprinkler lines, and it winterizes the water lines in your lawn. That way the water doesn't freeze during winter and burst any of those pipes. Usually you can pay someone to do this for $50, and most neighborhoods have a teenager or just a local guy who does this as a side job. You will see yard and road signs in your neighborhoods popping up, offering that service everywhere in about October. So it's a simple fix. The next thing to do with your homes first will be the leaf removal, which of course is bagging the leaves in your lawn. It's doing a good job of that because if piles are left, it can actually create some mold and disease and damage your grass or your plants that they were in. But the most important part of the leaves is making sure that your gutters are completely cleaned out. In the winter, water will get caught up on the debris in your gutters, and then it will freeze, and it'll keep doing that, and it can create all sorts of problems and is something that has to be done. When it comes to your lawn, you usually will mow your lawn lower than you did during the summer. This will help keep it winterized, and then in the fall is a great time to aerate. So if you've ever seen a bunch of what looks like dirt logs on a golf course or in a park, this is aeration. It puts holes in your yard that allow nutrients and space for your yard and grass to prosper. Plus, if your lawn is not looking very thick in the fall, it can be a great time to seed. So come springtime, there's more grass that will come through. Now, all of this is to prepare for winter, which for many people is what prevents them from moving to Boise or causes people to leave Boise. So watch this video here where I give you a realistic outlook on what winters are like in the Boise area. That way you don't run into the same issues. Thank you for watching. I look forward to meeting you guys in person.